We have problems with nonprofits coming into our communities, coming with their stuff, collecting the grants, right?
Huge.
Dictating what we do in our communities. Not for nothing, we got to look in the mirror sometimes, because we got to be critical of that too. We got to make sure we don't impose our personal stuff on our community, not understanding if the community is for that or against that. Is it going to bring positivity to the community, or is it going to cause more chaos and disarray?
That's good. Segues perfectly into what I was gonna say about how do you come to Puerto Rico and you engage, right? Tell me a little bit about how you guys end up knowing, how do you connect to people here?
To gravitate? Well, we are lucky enough that the elders that we deal with, we've heard the stories and the things that they've gone through, the mistakes that they've made. So they've helped us navigate. And honestly, we're also smart enough to know that I don't speak Spanish, right? So I'm not Puerto Rican enough to anybody. Definitely can't come out here to want to help and tell you what you're doing is wrong, or tell you how to do stuff. All I can do is come out here and go, where do you need us to help? And that's really the biggest thing, is us trying to find people that are looking for people that are willing to put the time in and actually help. Not tell people what they're doing is wrong, not saying you need to do this instead of that, but just actually do the manpower and let everything go from there.
But we're also disconnected from that word diaspora to the islanders, right? Like, there's a lot of Boricuas in general, because I'm not going to say which direction it comes from, because it comes from all directions, that think it's two different struggles. You know, that they don't look at it as a continuation. Like, I'm a byproduct of what y'all going through today. My mother went through 37 years ago. Her mother went through it before she did. Like, the displacement comes from that. So when we exclude people who are byproducts of that, you're discrediting your whole struggle, because this is what you become after a while. After 2-3 years, you have children, you create a family. It's 5.6 bodies out in the diaspora. There's 2.3 or 3.2, I just looked, 3.2 here. They left by choice. The teachers leave by choice, the physicians leave by choice. It's hard to sustain.
The design, you know? Yeah, it's the design of the system. Yeah.
But that's what we bring, right? There's things that I need to learn as a body from outside on how things navigate here.
Yes.
But I'm crucial to hold the island just as accountable, right? Because as corrupted as Puerto Rico's government is, I was born and raised in the States. The government knows when you don't pay your taxes. The government knows when you don't pay your child support. The government knows when you commit fraud on credit. The government knows everything. So if you're crying about corruption within the Puerto Rican government, understand the United States understands the corruption, because they allow it to continue. The more corruption's here, the more reliant the people are on the United States. Again, I'm not saying don't attack the government here, but don't attack just the puppet. You have to attack the master, because he's just going to go get another puppet to replace it. Doesn't she come from the same party as Rosselló?
Exactly.
What we did, we just said, you know what, man,
No, I talked to so many people that marched for, during that Ricky Renuncia, and today they're like, pero we didn't finish the job.
But that's the same mistakes.
They've been saying that.
But that's the same mistakes we make out there, right? Look who we allowed to be in office, because y'all don't have control of that. Y'all can't vote.
Do you feel a sense that this is all also part of a design of a larger class issue, right? Like the oligarchs, the people that what do they call them? The sort of the technocrats, right? The people who are trying to create divisions between people and all of it just so that they can get richer, right? So I feel like that has been, at least as I've been processing everything that's been happening, he may have won the election, but I also question, especially here, if the elections get rigged, if there are certain ways that, obviously they throw a lot of money into it. Money translates to more votes. Money translates to more brainwashing. So I do feel like there is something there that...
we were just having these conversations, and
we could go down a rabbit hole with that, pero sí.
Puerto Rico, since 1898, hasn't been put in a position that is beneficial for Puerto Ricans being lucky. The government out there is the same way. It's not meant for us to succeed, right? The more obstacles they put in front of us, the less we want to participate. The less we want to participate, the more people who are participating swings more in direction. I get it. I'm born and raised out there. I know what it feels like when they cause chaos at the voting polls. People can't get access to vote. Like, I understand the restrictions. I understand the tactics that they use, the policing they use. I get it, right? But look what happens when we don't vote, when we allow those obstacles to really overcome us instead of us overcoming those obstacles. Like, we're turning from a republic to a dictatorship because we're not participating.
Yeah.
And we can say, oh, it's rigged anyway, I'm not going to participate, but that's the psychological aspect, right? The system did it to you to feel so worn down that you don't want to do it no more. Now you believe that it's not going to work at all, right?
That's exactly what happened in elections here. The last one, a lot of the young folks that went to the voting booths to try to work as volunteers, they said that they saw so many things that were wrong. People throwing out votes for the other candidate that wasn't Jennifer Gonzalez. So there is something there where a lot of people felt activated right after, like, oh, we got to have workshops, we got to do trainings. And yet, I try to stay pretty informed. I haven't seen any of that. So if we're not preparing ourselves, como tú dices, we have to organize and prepare ourselves, then how do we expect anything to change? And on top of that, putting that aside, I also want to mention, like, historically, I look at Don Pedro here up on the wall. He didn't believe in voting because he felt like this was an illegal occupation. And so I want to mention that because I think that's important historically. But I also think what you guys are doing in terms of building that grassroots, movement and building, how would you aconsejar, ¿cómo se dice? Oh my God. How would you guide people who are wanting to do what you do? Or do you feel people should maybe join the New Era Young Lords or create their own group within their own? Porque imagínate, the diaspora is big, 5.6 million. Each person maybe in their own state could create.
I'm going to let him talk, but I just want to push back a little bit on I don't believe in voting either, right? But I believe in maximum damage, minimum loss to life. He reaped the consequences of his actions, right? And we lost as a people because he wasn't protected the right way. So we're going just off reactionary tactics. Just expect reactionary results. And I'm not saying don't fight, no ponle pa lo tuyo. But how many more are we going to lose? There's only, again, we have more out there than in here. Half of them out there can't even come back here because they can't afford it.
It's interesting you say that because I think of that mindset shift and that tipping point where more and more people. So once you have the masses, this is why they're not concerned, right? With like, oh, Puerto Ricans,
well, what's the saying that you have 100 Puerto Ricans in a room, you got a million opinions.
Sí.
Esa la verdad. Esa la verdad. Allá también. You go out there, it's the same thing. We the same. We just speak different languages. It's the same. We grow up with the same parents. A lot of our parents are born here. You don't think they raise us the same way? And like I said, I'm not discrediting his tactics.
No, claro.
It's just we've lost so much as a people right now. In 2025, I don't think we can take another big blow like another massacre happening here. And what sucks is they're gonna send the military. And the U.S. Virgin Islands is the only other place that recruits more military personnel than Puerto Rico. All right. So who do you think is gonna be on the opposite side of those weapons? Who do you think is going to be navigating that?
That's what we
Other
saw
Boricuas.
at the protest, Boricuas against Boricuas, and it's like, it's literally going back to that time. It's like no, de verdad que.
You just got to be strategic. I'm not saying.
Be strategic.
Yeah, just be smarter. I'm not saying don't do what he did, but don't repeat it exactly the way they did.
Things, I really appreciate, I hear people doing documentaries and doing things. We really need to understand what came before so that we can evolve. Like our tactics and everything else. I'm sure that he felt a lot of frustration because there was, like you said, not enough resources, not enough people. Pero ahora estamos en un punto donde we are growing the movement and it's different.
I could reach you from all the way down there in seconds. He couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But look at the impact they had. So imagine if we use our tools we have right now and weaponize them to our favors. Right? But the system won. They divided us. But go ahead, but I talk too much.
And we still don't.
I talk too much.
And we have technology, and it's still not easy to get everybody together. Right. This tool that is as much a weapon as it should be an asset to us. It doesn't help. But people wanting to join organizations, like I said, growing up following the Panthers, and once I learned about the Young Lords, the thing that made me just be like, take that deep breath and be like, okay, this is where I belong, is because they didn't separate everybody. You know, it's if me and him are neighbors, and he's full Puerto Rican, I'm Puerto Rican Mexican, but we still love each other because we're going through the same struggle. We're gonna help each other out. So I love the fact that they were very diverse. And, you know, back in the day, the Panthers were like, well, start your own organization so we can, you know, build together. And that's great. We need those other organizations, but we need to feel comfortable with taking care of whoever is part of our community.